Hi, I'm Mike from UHI. I'm here today just to talk about correct engagement of the PTO for the 65 horsepower to 100 horsepower tractors only. 25 up to 55 is a different process, slightly different in the way that you're using your double clutch to engage the PTO. All implements that you buy from UHI will only operate in 540. Although the PTO will have two speeds, 540 or 720, where all our implements only operate in the 540. So make sure that that's the speed you always operate them in. 720 will always be for larger implements like large balers, batwing mowers, rotary hose, grain carts, and the list is endless. But your aftermarket implement provider, they'll tell you what the PTO speed is for that product. So just be mindful of that. With all of our implements, they get delivered. They're not pre-delivered, the implements, so they don't come with any gear oil in them, and they're not greased or assembled. So make sure that you go and get yourself some gear oil. I think we use 80/90 for ours, and get yourself a torque wrench and some Loctite. It's going to come in quite handy. A couple of safety issues. The list is endless, but a few that'll come to mind is just be acutely aware of your relationship between hair or others, long hair, loose clothing, and a spinning PTO. It is inherently dangerous and, if not lethal. So that's not to be taken lightly. If you're working around the implement and you're hopping out of the tractor, do disengage that. It's very important. Another thing that I need to point out, which is a common feedback from most buyers, is they're wondering why the clutch plates are slipping on the PTO shaft. They're designed to do that. It means that you're not operating that implement correctly. You're putting it under far too great a duress, and therefore there's a lot of back pressure on the implement and the clutches will slip. That's to save you from snapping your shaft or breaking things inside the tractor. Now, some good housekeeping. All implements, regardless if they're sold by UHI or any other brand, they operate at extreme speed. There's a lot of shaking and they're under a lot of duress. Bolts will come loose, things do come loose. It's paramount that you go around and torque everything before each use. It doesn't mean that the implement's of inferior quality. It's just the nature of implements that are all running under extreme duress. So get some Loctite, put that on some bolts that don't require an actual torque setting, and just generally keep it in good order. So for the PTO engagement, I'll just run you through it with the motor off, just so that you can hear my voice. It's very simple in the 65 up. We simply have, this is just the PTO handbrake. So very simple. All we do is pull up the PTO handbrake. Then over here, we just put the PTO forward. Now, handbrake off, and the stub shaft at the back will start rotating. When we do that, ensure that the implement you have is just above ground level, because we don't want to start that implement. We don't want to just start it with a lot of back pressure in long grass. We want it high enough. We want to let that thing spool up, and then we gently want to lower it down once she's up to speed. The other thing that's important to note is that the RPM, so we'll have a lever on the side. We want to run that lever up to around that 1500. So our implements, to get your maximum efficiency out of your PTO, we need to run at 1500 to 2000 RPMs. We'll only operate if we're slashing in first or second gear, low or medium. So essentially it's walking pace. If the best way to tell if you're doing it right is get out, have a look at your clippings. If they're a clean cut, you're doing fine. If they look like they're torn, then you're going to have to slow your ground speed down a bit and start tweaking with what you're doing and find the right balance. for you so that you get a nice clean cut. When we get to the end of our whatever we're slashing, don't do abrupt turns. Do some graduated curves, because that can also cause damage to your tractor with the PTO and the implement. So now I'm going to demonstrate the PTO engagement with the tractor running, so you won't be able to hear me too well, but you'll be able to see what I'm trying to do. So, handbrake on. PTO 540. Handbrake off. We're now operating. Now, if we're slashing, when we're using the slasher, our green lever here, we're going to either bring the slasher up or down. Don't bring it up too high. Make sure you check the relationship between your PTO shaft and your implement, because you might be causing the PTO shaft to go against it and it'll snap the PTO shaft. Now, the other option is push this green lever all the way forward. That's your float function. So essentially, that just disengages the hydraulic force on the 3PL, and your implement, your slasher, if you're using your slasher, is now just going to glide across the contour of the ground. So that's called floating your slasher.